One of my favourite films is The Outlaw Josie Wales, starring and directed by Clint Eastwood. In this film we hear the saying, "Don't piss down my back and tell me it's raining." I feel that this saying also applies to the Department of International Development, as it is concerned more with aid than development that benefits the UK citizens that fund it. Instead, it should be renamed the Department of International Aid, or better still, the Department of International State-Funded Charity. What got me looking into the Department of International Development Aid Charity was an announcement on the 23rd of November 2018 by the International Development Secretary, Penny Mordaunt, that the UK government would be giving away £50 million of the taxpayers' hard-earned cash to tackle the illegal practice of female genital mutilation. This is not £50 million to be burnt on eliminating this barbaric practice here in the UK, but no, abroad. Also, this was not £50 million to be taken from the foreign aid budget, but an additional £50 million, as if the £15 billion foreign aid budget isn't enough. I did another video about this and suggest you watch that for further details. Also, in another video, you'll see my take on the much bigger beast of the foreign aid. In this video, I'm interested in the spending of this department. If you visit the department's webpage, you'll see the photograph of a pallet of wrapped up aid with the poster which states UK aid from the British people. Nah, this should read from the British government, as people like me never agreed to this. If you scroll down this page, you will see on the right hand side a link titled Transparency Data. Click on this link. This takes you to a page that summarizes how this department spends your hard-earned taxes. I'll focus on the documents titled Spending Over £500. There is one for each month from January to September 2018. As of December, the October and November data has not been uploaded. And mind, this is the data for spends over £500. For spends less than £500, we are kept in the dark. If you click on any of these data links, you can download them in either OpenOffice or CSV file formats. Shown is a typical CSV file for March 2018. The file consists of rows of data for each data entry. I wrote a short script to parse this data so as to collect it together based on the column header, entry type, and then sum up all such entries. This is then all pulled together into a master spreadsheet and organized by way of a separate sheet for each month. As an example, let's take a closer look at August 2018. The first column lists the type of expenditure. The second column, the number of entries for that expenditure, and the third column, the total money spent. These values are in pounds, and I've highlighted a few of interest. For each month, there are approximately 70 different entry types, and I won't go through them all, but I've just highlighted a few of interest. The first is we see 4 entries for conferences or jollies, with a total cost of about £8,000 and an average cost for each one of £2,120. We then scroll down to airfares and we see 252 airfares, totaling £271,000. That's an average airfare cost of just over £1,000. This is just in 1 month, mind. We then come down to data network landlines. There's 17 entries here, and the total cost was over £34,000. Scroll down to hotels and accommodation, which is clearly associated with the cost of the airfares, and we see 5 entries here, and in this particular month this is a low entry. and a total cost of £13,000. That's an average hotel cost of £2,600. Recruitment costs, 6 entries, £48,000, each one over £8,000. Subscriptions, 3 entries, 12,800, and so on and so on. The total expenditure for August was £665 million. In this sheet, we have a summary of the months January to September. Let's look at airfares, spending around £300,000 per month on airfares, averaging at around £1,000 per flight and 10 flights per day, clearly all flying business class. Then we have hotel accommodation, which averages about £1,000 per stay. It doesn't look like they're slumming it, does it? You can just imagine a member's partner paying for their own flight, but staying at the taxpayer's expense in a hotel room with a double bed. Cleaning costs. What on earth are these? Note that in May, £56,000 was spent on cleaning. Whatever that is, it must be pretty damn clean. Recruitment costs. £242,000 in May on recruitment costs. Are these salaries or costs relating to recruiting people? Conferences and jollies. They like spending around £4,000 on each gathering, and the total spend some months rises to £64,000. Then there's subscriptions. What, I hear you say? Yes, I can only imagine it consists of technical journal subscriptions. Just look at January. £202,000. What the fuck? And the last that I've pulled out, but in no way is the least, data network landlines. What? In January, they paid out £417,000 on landlines. In my opinion, this is going way beyond bags of rice on pallets, but on the laying down of data cable infrastructure. If I'm right, is the UK funding the building of data infrastructure in foreign countries when there are many rural areas here in the UK that suffer from poor broadband? The far right column lists the total monthly spend, and we see 610 million for January, etc., giving a total spend of £4.2 billion for these few months. But don't think that's the sum of it, as there's also October, November and December to go. And bear in mind, this forms part of the 0.7% GDP £15 billion annual UK giveaway. So we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg here. It's fucking ridiculous. And you know why? Because in the UK in 2018, there are 320,000 homeless people, and there are 3.9 million people who are classified as in persistent poverty. Enough said.